Hello guys, today we are going to discuss validations and derivations by using Badi method. So in this, even if the derivation is more complicated in a particular entity, in that cases also we can write down this logic very easily. So every logic we cannot do by BRF because it is only to up to some extent, but here we can use this even for complex requirements. So let's get started. Now let's assume we are having as of now it is showing name of organization should be filled. So this is coming from BRF method to from that we are getting this message to the user. So even now, even after clicking check, this particular one will get blocked. So this error will block the user from clicking on submit to next level approver. So like this we will do through BRF. Exactly we can do same thing by using BRF as well as by using Badi. So using Badi should be done if it is bit complicated and if it is dependent on table level and configuration level and all. So now I am going to focus on making BP grouping as mandatory field. First of all, in order to start this, let's go to MDG IMG general settings, and in this we have to go to data quality and search. In this we will have validations and enrichments. We should not go into this. This is for Badi, um, this is for BRF, and this is for Badi. So we have to go inside business add-ins and check what are they available. So we have to use first one. In this case we have to create a new one. So before creating new one we have to always be ensured that there is no existing Badi with same filter criteria. So I made sure before starting this one, so that's why I am starting to implement a new enhancement. So ZEI MDG validation derivation. So I am creating this one and then short text as enhancement for validations and derivations for customer. So I will do this only for z cust 1 p2. This is the CR type which we are using. So I am clicking on OK, local object as of now. Now I have to give Badi. So zbi underscore mtg underscore. I am just giving this one. I gave this name before, that's why it is appearing in my drop down. But when you are doing for first time, it will not show in drop down. You have to enter this one manually. So the class also I have created with similar one previously, but I have deleted it, so it is coming. Now let's click on OK and then local object. This is fine. Now this has been created. Now we have to go first into filter values and maintain a filter criteria. So I am doing both filters now. So first one, entity type and model. Model we are always sure that this is BP data model. So we have to use equal to filter, and then second one we have to decide based on the requirement. So if entity type, so when we see the UI, if we want to make grouping as mandatory, we have to do here that grouping is belongs to BP header. So to make sure that it belongs to BP header, we have to go into MDG IMG, and then in general settings we can go to data modeling, and then here edit data model. So inside edit data model we can visualize the data model of business partner, and then click on visualize data model. Now here we can check BP grouping in that is in which entity. So directly we can see in BP header we can see BU group. So this is the grouping which we are seeing in the UI. So that's why I am using BP header now here as a entity type filter. So BP header, and then comparator equal to, and okay. So I am saving this for now. Now implementing class. Now this is the important one. So let's go inside. So first of all, when we are going to use this class, we have to make sure all of these classes are having some empty information in it. At least some empty information. It should be in activated state. So I am clicking on this one. Now it is not yet been implemented. Now I have to go to edit mode and implement all of these methods. So first check entity. I am just activating this with empty code. Now go back.
Check entity hierarchy. So I am activating this. Like this, we have to activate all the methods, and then let's start making code changes.
So now we have activated all the methods in this. Now we have to understand the most important methods which we are going to use are first one and last one in this. So check entity and derive entity. So check entity is used for validations, and derive entity for derivations in a single entity. So here for check entity, go inside this and let's understand what will happen if we keep debugger in this. If check 1 equal to 1, so this I am using just to debug. So I just kept this dummy code, and I'm just keeping this debugging point. Now I am going to have, I will click on check here. Now anyway this doesn't get triggered. So we have to leave this page, and again let's click on new organization. At this time this will get triggered for sure. So now I will give any description. Initially that will not appear. So after giving description and click on enter button, that Badi will get triggered. So now we have to observe what are the local variables here. So IT data, the data which is there in which got created just now in the UI will get showed here. So BP unique identifier and business header, the temporary number got created, and BU type 2 means it is organization type of business partner. So only thing now we have to check is BU group. So so now already we are getting BU group as empty. So we have to, if BU group is empty, then we have to tell the system to throw an error to the user in this case. So that's the point of using derivation, this check entity. So what this IT data, it will bring the particular entities data one by one, and we will make code here so that it will go into this data and bring out the messages and populate inside this. So that is the main point here. And to filter it out, we will also have BP header, from which entity it is getting triggered, and then this change request number. So this change request number will be used in multiple ways, and also this IO model can be used to read the data inside the particular CR. So like this we will use this, and let's start doing code changes for this. So we have to loop it into IT data, and we will get this particular row in a structure, and in that structure if BU group is having empty value, then we will throw an error to the user. That is the main point here. So I am starting that now. So now I am just checking id underscore if id underscore entity type equal to what is the entity type which we are doing. So bp underscore header is the entity type. So if this is the entity type, in this case, if bp header is entity type, then what we have to do? So in that case we have to take this IT data. So if is opened, I am closing this end if. Now I am looping because IT data is coming now. So IT data into, so in this case we are having any table. So if we are having any table, I am using assigning field symbol. So field symbol general naming convention starts with fs. Even if you don't use fs, it is fine, still it will work. So fs underscore ls underscore data. So now I am looping into this and end loop. So if loop is opened, I have to close this loop within this only. I should not cross this if, and I should not fill end loop here. It will throw syntax error. Now inside this loop I am going to mention, as per debugger here, we can understand that BU group is the name of the uh, value which we have to check now. So this is the structure which we are getting, first row. So according to that I will do the coding here. So here remember this one. This is the most frequently used syntax in MDG. Especially from validations and derivations, we can mostly use in all the baddies. Assign component. So here we have to mention the name of the component which we are doing here. So name of the component we can see from debugger. So BU group. So now assign component BU group of structure. So structure is field symbol here. So I am giving fsls data into to field symbol fs bu group. Now we can make changes here. So fs bu group. So this is the, now I can check if this is assigned or not. That means if a bu group is not there sometimes in an exceptional cases, for safety, this is the convention which we have to follow. First we have to check if it is assigned. So if it is assigned, and if fs bu group is initial, if it is empty, then we have to send message to the user. So now I am sending a message. So in this, first end if. Now syntax wise everything is fine. Now I have to fill the message. So to fill this message, let's check the message which we are sending outside, of which format. So USMD message is of this line type. So if we go into this, we can see message ID, message type and all. So here we are going to see message class. So this type of ones we have to fill by using message class. So here we can see this one. So this is the class which we can use in order to skip creating message classes in SC91. So we don't need to go to SC91 now, we can just use this message text here, and then let's check BP grouping is mandatory. So BP grouping is mandatory. So we can also give text element also here, that is also fine. And message type we have to give this as error, and receiving rs message, this message. So because it is in receiving mode, we don't need to give this like this, so we can remove this. If it is in receiving mode, we can directly use this one as an input, like so. This entire one which will if it is receiving a message type, you, we can directly concatenate. That means we can add directly into this table. So what I will do here, so easily I am doing append this one, this entire one, to et message. So I am just, this entire one will return that USMD message one. So that entire thing will get added into et message. So if I click on enter now, it doesn't return any syntax errors also, because this is returning the correct data element. So let's go and check this one now. I'm closing this and I will open this again. So let's add this one and click on enter button. Now we can see BP grouping is mandatory. So it will show this one. If we enter this, this will get disappeared. So let's enter anything. So I am just giving some random ID. Now that error will get disappeared. So that means we can directly go and when you are very new to this Badi concept, you can just keep debugger like this and you can get an understanding, and you can directly use this method for simplification and then try like this. So this is the simple validation which you can do through Badi. And let me check now another one. So derive entity. Now I am going to do a derivation. So I want to I'm having, if suppose I am having a requirement like I have to derive an US I have to derive US country by default in this CR type. So previously we forgot to mention CR type here. So to get CR type from we are just having change request number, but we are not having CR type as an input. So in this type of cases, from change request number itself we can do without using any table. So many of them will use USMD 120C and fetch from change request number, and they will get CR type from that. So but in this case I am doing, there is a standard class which we can use so that we don't need to take permissions from the architects to use standard tables. So USMD CL USMD request util. So in this we will have get CR type by CR. I am using this one. So if I pass change request here, ID C request and IO model, this is BP model, so BP. So we don't need this one. This is optional field, but type of change request we can receive from this. So data LV C request type. So here we can add if LV C request type is Z cust 1 P2. Now if you go last and end if. So I have maintained like this. Now it will be applicable only for this one. So same thing, the in derivation we have to use CL USMD C request app context. So this entire app context, and it will return a get context. So again in this get context we can use get attributes. So in this we are going to get all this information. So we don't need most of them here. So whatever we need is only change request type, because it has to get derived only for particular change request type, and other than that other things we can just ignore. So whatever I need I am just uncommenting it and storing it in LV C request type. So this is done. Now if LV C request type. So if LV request type equal to, we can use equals to this one as well, equal to z cust1 p2. So if it is that CR type, then we have to do this. So if this is the CR type, then we can understand. So CT data, previously we got IT data, but in this case we will get CT data because we will get the data from outside of the body, and we can have chance to change that data. So in the same way like before, we can use loop at CT data, assigning field symbol fs cs data. So fs ls data we can use, and then end loop. So inside this again we have to assign a component like previous. So assign component, which component which we can choose now. So I want to do for country. So if it is for country, we have to know what is the attribute name for that country. So first of all we have to find out where is that country. So I am just giving country here in search text. I am getting name of the person and go down facts. So this is the AD postal. So this is the correct one, and if it is country key, we can use this one, ref underscore posta. So I am using same thing here, sn component ref underscore posta of structure. So the structure we got here is that field symbol. So data to again field symbol, and then new field symbol I am assigning here fs ref posta. So we have assigned it. Now again, as per as per coding standard, whenever field symbol we are trying to get, we have to check if it is assigned or not. So if fs ref posta is assigned, if it is assigned, then only we have to execute the following piece of code. Now in this we have to check if fs ref posta is initial. If it is initial, then what we have to do? Previously, if it is initial in validation, we have to send a message to the user to fill that particular field. But in this case, if it is initial, we have to change that field symbol value. Field symbol can be changed in this case because it is changing data type. CT means changing. If you are not sure about this, you can just hover the mouse over this. You can understand that this is changing. Just hover here and you can observe that it is changing. If you still don't get it correct, you can double click here and you can see this type as changing. That means you can change this one. It will come out outside from our body, and it will, we can even override its values completely. Like that, this changing data will be, we can change inside the body. So that is the point. So posta equal to us. So I am end if, and activating this. So now let's check. Instead of adding a new combination, we can do in this way. So add R combination if BP header R ad underscore postal. So that is the name of the entity. So we can see here, this is from ad postal. Now this is the entity. Now activate it and check this. Now let's close this and check it. So point is, derivation will get triggered even before validation gets triggered. So derivation will be given first priority, after that validation. So it got triggered as soon as CR type uh, got opened. So even before opening, I am just getting this data, and we can see CT data is already coming. But in this case, it is coming with wrong entity type, BP header. So in these cases only, because we have used this statement here, this will safeguard us without causing a dump in the system. So because of this check here, this will get not satisfied and it will go into next loop. Now I am just entering description and clicking on enter button. So it will ask BP grouping is mandatory. So I am just giving BP grouping. So after giving this, now the data inside this, again BP header will get triggered. So whenever we do any changes inside a particular entity in the UI, that type of entity will get triggered in the in this Badi. So here I'm just entering any street. So if I am doing any change, only then this derivation will get triggered. So now ref posta is getting changed into US, and after clicking on enter, in UI also this US will come. So derivation will get triggered only when we are giving any field in that. That is the only disadvantage of using the derivations. So to overcome this exception, we have to use cross entity derivations. So that will be given highest priority